So the payment processors have forced their hand to change their terms of service to essentially say that there cannot be any games on the platform with a emphasis particularly on adult games, but really it doesn't actually say just adult games. It says any game that goes against the terms of service or ideals of their payment processors, meaning the people who take their money and give them money essentially have all, they're basically publishers apparently at this point. They get to decide what is allowed and what is not allowed on a platform that has essentially nothing to do with them outside of, you know, taking and giving money. It's a pretty big fucking deal. It's a story that's going to get much, much bigger. It's big now, but it's going to get much, much bigger over time because more people talking about it. Aspen covered it. I don't know if anybody else like with a huge following covered it, but usually there is a domino effect once Aspen tends to cover something. Did he actually fully cover it now?
But before the Steam aspect, does anybody know, is Collective, because this happened last year with manga processors in Japan, is Collective Shout the same? Were they behind that one as well, or is it just the same thing but different group?
So I believe they were part of it. I don't know if they were the ones who started it, but I believe they were part of it because they were trying to call all anime childlike, and because of that, they considered everything that anime basically showcased to be some form of abuse.
Yeah, one manga website got full, a legal one, not an illegal, one completely legal manga purchasing site got full on shut down because they were no longer able to accept Visa or MasterCard or whatnot. It's like, well, we don't know what the future is, so we're temporarily down. I don't know if they ever even came back up.
And that's why Steam did it. You know what I mean? Like, listen, could they fight it? Absolutely, right? Are they a mega corporation? Sure. But at the end of the day, man, they are still a small peanut compared to Visa, MasterCard, and all these other fucking major card companies. So it's a monopoly within itself. It really is. Or a duopoly, as people I think call it. Duopoly.
It's a monopoly.
At this point, you know, it's either they not be able to take money and have to find a way to come up with their own solution, which part of me feels like that would have been great. I've said this many times. Like, I feel like Steam needs to come up with their own thing. And if anybody could do it, it's probably them. But it's not just 1, 2, 3, like snap your fingers, come up with your own payment solution.
That's really
like,
hard to do anyway.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to that. That's very difficult.
It's so we see this all the time. So for those that don't know, I run a marketing company and we work with clients up and down the East Coast. And if you get any kind of infraction, you are blacklisted from everything. It is one of the most serious things. And I've actually had private conversations with Savvy about this, where like I can't reveal my clients because I'm an NDA, but it is so serious. I felt it personally. I've been in a situation personally where like we've made too much money selling like just stuff from streams, and then they've shut down processor. Like, it is so serious, and not nearly enough people are talking about it. The fact that it could be Steam of all things that blows this is a powder keg ready to explode.
Big time.
Can I add a little bit of a story there? Does anybody not remember what happened with Eric July, the Rippaverse, with the first book?
PayPal.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not something. It's something that should have been. That's something that should have blown the lid off the whole shindig way back when. But a lot of people were just like, oh, you know, he's a small guy, this, that, and the other. It was just kind of blown over. This has been a problem for like the fucking longest. It takes way too much money, and there's so much fucking red tape to go through before you can even start your own payment process. So,
well, not only that,
they played the long game with this whole shit.
Quick, the red tape situation is something you got to concern yourself with, because people keep saying, even when I covered it in my comments, people are saying, "Oh, Steam should just start their own payment processing." They should
not that easy,
but they can't. Even if they could do that, say for like just shits and giggles, they just did it. Like Gabe's just like, "Yep, we're starting our own payment processing and we're starting our own credit card." First, they'd probably have to be backed by one of them.
Usually, yeah.
But secondly, even if they didn't have to be backed by one of them, there's probably, and I'm making an assumption here, maybe you can speak to this too. Maybe in the riders of the contract and stuff, like you cannot have, there's like a non-compete clause. Like if you bring something in, then we can just withdraw completely from your entire platform, and we're not going to support anything from you. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of it too.
Honestly, Steam has an obligation to the people that put their games on the platform. Like Steam, you know, as easy as it is, people say, well, Steam should just start their own shit. That would destroy a lot of these games on their platform, because the visibility or the ability to purchase is therefore in heavy question at that point.
So right now,
okay, but Cassie, let's take this beyond Steam, because here's the biggest issue I have with all this is that, don't get me wrong, it's bad that it's happening in Steam, but they're gonna hide behind this guise of, well, you don't want video games out there that exploit children, that show terrible things happening to children. When it's so easy to do the hide behind it, but what happens when this goes further and further? Like, this is the definition of a slippery slope. These are payment processors basically dictating what you cannot and can spend your money on. So it's violent video games today. Maybe it's rated R movies tomorrow. Like, you know what? We don't like blood in movies, so from now on, you can't buy tickets. Sorry, Deadpool 4.
So something that is really kind of underlooked, maybe overlooked, is, so firstly, we have the main 4 credit cards, right? Amex, Discover, MasterCard, and Visa. That's here in the United States. Now, what everybody keeps talking about is, oh, well, they should just have their own payment processor. Okay, well, all 4 of those companies I just named could say, we don't work on your processor. So it doesn't matter. Like, in theory, Steam already has their own payment processor. This is something that is really construed because we don't really know. There's a payment processor that you type your credit card information into on a website. But then those 4 companies have to be willing to participate in giving you money through that processor. So what we're really talking about here is Steam doesn't have any real option to bring to the table unless they're willing to make their own kind of credit card. And at that point, it's going to be so expensive. I mean, Steam is huge. We all know Steam is huge. This is bigger than Steam. This is a global.
Way bigger.
And
well, didn't they do this
that point real
something
quick,
similar to Kanye West?
Well, real quick.
Did they?
Wasn't this the point of the ESRB, so that they're allowing people of age to partake in what the hell they wanted to partake in?
That's a great point.
Well, aren't adult games not rated by the ESRB? They just have the AO rating.
Yeah, AO, but still.
That's an entity that still exists to do this service, which now is being proven doesn't do the service well enough.
Right.
Yeah.
They're basically overruling
they do the service well enough. It just doesn't matter. So these individuals, first of all, let's take a look at who this shout out or out shit, whatever they call it. I don't fucking remember. But point is, let's take a look at who they are as an entity. They're a feminist group, right? Ain't no feminist group have the power to dictate what Steam does and doesn't do. They are being backed by shadowy dudes way above and beyond them. Like that's what this is. This is absolutely a controlled effort by someone way bigger than Collective Shout. That's their name.
So this post here for Collective Shout, this is basically their open letter. This is what they sent to the payment processors about Steam. And they tagged everybody. They tagged them by name, by title, and every single major one that they possibly could tag, even outside of this country. So they tagged PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, PaySafe Limited, Discover, Japan Credit Bureau, and I'm sure more.
Do you think that every single one of these CEOs, these multimillionaire CEOs, heads of these large financial institutions, will give a fuck what some random feminist letter said?
Yes. I would say yes.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, and the reason why, no. Here's why. The reason why is because it depends on how you market the letter, right? So these people are known for using some of the most inflammatory, egregious wording that is meant to elicit at least an initial response of either worry or fear, or even if it's at the base level, enough to get them to read it, right? Because most of the time you get these letters sent out, they don't fucking read it. But these kind of things are meant to elicit that initial response to get it read. And then once they read it, I mean, well, it just depends on who's reading it. Right. And once one or two of them agree, that's it.
What are the odds that every single one of these payment processors in these financial institutions all came to the same conclusion, unless this company, this feminist group, wasn't actually being bankrolled by somebody with actual power?
Well, so what I was going to say is that they're all connected. So,
but if they was bankrolled by somebody with actual power, why would they need to write a letter?
They could just reach out to that person
for the publicity, the public stunt, to keep us looking at one thing instead of the other.
I honestly think that all it takes is one of them to agree, and then they all will agree.
Yeah. And
If
the timing of this, go scroll up again. The time was what, July 11th?
July 11th, yeah, 2025.
Yeah. And this took place what, like 4 days after that?
Yep. So it's pretty fast.
Yeah, that's so fast that I'm like, was this already in process before the letter? Because
again, look at the fucking headline. You know, open letter to payment processors profiting from R-word, incest, and child abuse. Like, that's a pretty hardcore headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is, like, with a lot of this stuff, first off, I mean, we've seen it from, like, the quote-unquote anti-woke, like, super censorship heavy fucking clowns. Like, we can't even agree. Yeah, we can't even agree on what falls under the term pornography. Like,
that's the idea.
It's crazy. We can't even come to an agreement on that. So therefore, we can't even have exactly, because everyone has, like, people just have their own personal stake in certain things. And at this point, like, it's concerning to me because we can't even have basic comprehension on these things. So to therefore try and enforce your will upon what you deem what is what, we can't even come to terms on what things are.
You know, they come from a very religious background, right?
Hey,
at least the what's her name, Melissa Tankard Rice or something like that. Like, she comes from a very religious background. A lot of her stuff is basically, I was talking about it last night. This is essentially like Goonergate 2.0 on a mass scale from feminists.
The thing that gets me, man, is the R word is one thing, incest is one thing, but child abuse just sounds too broad. Like, what's the definition of child abuse? Because is there verbal child abuse, physical child abuse, sexual child? Like that's just too broad. Is technically, you know, if there's a kid in the game and they get bullied or like Last of Us, you know, Ellie had adults kidnap her and stuff. Is that child abuse, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the definition? Like,
so I'm sure they're gonna get to that point. I'm sure it's gonna be where, and I've said this many times, man. The whole, like, adult games, this is only the start. This is literally only the start. They're going to go from adult games to violent games to eventually
games.
You're gonna be playing only what they deem is allowed to be played, which is fucking crazy in my opinion.
Can I shift gears just for a second with this?
No, you don't know how to drive a manual. Stop it.
Oh man.
I think this is kind of like what Leon was saying with the shifting the target and making you look at one thing when it makes you wonder why games? Hollywood does this all the time. It's part of the storylines and everything. Why can't a very well written?
Video games are played by 70%.
Well, hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah, Atreus said it. He said it.
Film is pussy whooped already as it is, bro. Like the 70s will never come back. The 70s was the most insane time.
Why can't we have a narrative story-driven game that perfectly exemplifies a crazy story that involves incest in it, like a Last of Us Part 3 or something like that? That's just like a crazy wild storyline that's absolutely, or like a future Resident Evil or something.
Game of Thrones.
Or Game of Thrones. Exactly. So this is now.
I mean, Silent Hill 2 had it.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
She was abused by her dad.
So this is now limiting the creativity of what a game developer can do by saying, you can do all that, but you can't do this stuff. Even though Hollywood can do what they want and tell the stories the way they want.
And what's funny is that these type of people are the if you don't like it, don't play it crowd. Okay, well, why can't we not play it if we don't like it? In this case, why do we have to get it deleted?
Right. Do you guys remember 2010, the proposed net neutrality bill?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the Reese's Cup guy.
Yes.
Okay, so that bill did not go through. But in 2011, there was a new bill proposed that did go through. Or I don't know if it went through or not, to be fair. So don't quote me on that. But it was called the Protecting Children from Internet Pornographers Act of 2011. You want to know what it was? It was net neutrality, but with a bunch of extra shit. And they slapped, child pornography on there because who's going to vote no to stopping child pornography? But in all reality, that wasn't what they wanted. They wanted net neutrality. And the only way they could do that is by changing the language in the bill and changing the title.
Well, they have to use something.
Like a monster. Exactly.
Yeah. They have to use something that is going to make it seem so inflammatory that it puts people between a rock and a hard place. Because if you really look at it and think about it, like when it comes to fiction and stuff, obviously most fiction, as long as it's not showcasing actual, real things happening like that, that's
I was
illegal.
starting to gain faith in humanity, and now I'm starting to lose it all over again with this. Like, damn.
You fucked up by ever gaining faith. But to
I
answer
know.
your question, it's pretty simple. It's like what Atreus said, right? So you're asking why video games? I mean, dude, who's doing it? Feminists. What do feminists hate? Men. Who plays majority games? Men. And they don't want men to have anything.
Hypno,
Just like anime manga.
to add to that, gaming is also the largest entertainment industry in the world, and I say this all, at least legal one.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go for something, not only do you have the feminist aspect, not only do you have the anti-man aspect, but you've also, this is where the money is, because it's the biggest legal entertainment industry in the world.
Well, if you start big, right? If you start big and you get a win there, everything else is going to be easy. Like,
by expanding these definitions,
it's a domino effect.
They're by expanding these definitions, because everybody that'll see these things believes they're heinous, and they are heinous. You're immediately legitimizing taking anything down that they want. Now, playing on top of that, for all of us here, we all know YouTube, we all know content creation, and we all know how easy it is to be deplatformed. Okay. Times that by 25, and that is what it is like for a business owner to deal with these credit card companies. It is easier. We talk about being deplatformed like it is an easy thing, and it is an easy thing. It is worse for business owners. And now this is proof that if they're coming after gaming, they're going to come hard after developers.
Hey, relax.
That's what Trace was saying earlier, and he was completely correct about it. Like when Trace brought up Kanye West, that wasn't a non sequitur. Trace was entirely correct. Like they debanked.
Now you know what Trace don't know what the fuck a non sequitur is
in the world.
Like, why would you use that word, bro? Did you see his face when you said non sequitur? He was like,
no, that's not it. That's not no. That's not why. I didn't make any face. I didn't make anything.
I was just thinking of the good clip you could get with them both in the same room, and he's saying they're gonna come hard, like the clip you can get out of that.
Oh, we're getting lots of clips today, I'm sure. But no, I'm just trying to lighten the mood because honestly, this shit sucks, man. And again, we were, what was it like a few months ago? We were talking about, did we, or maybe I did on Hypnocast, like the anime manga shit. I barely touched on it because the whole visa stuff and how they're trying to censor anime and manga, and it's because of people like this, man. They just they are trying to. It's all about power for them. They don't. It's not about money. They're supposedly a nonprofit. Like it's not about money. It's about fucking power. It's about a group of women that are angry at the world. They're dusty. They have nothing else better to do.
Nonprofit, Hypno, it could still be about money because to be a nonprofit, you only have to donate like 8% of your proceeds or something like that. Like it's an absurdly small number. So if you could still make 92% profit, it's also about money.
Previously, it used to be about making the money to get the power. They're going for the power grab first to potentially make the money afterwards.
And you also got to understand, I mean, they're going after one of the biggest digital platforms, if not the biggest, especially on PC anyway.
Forget the biggest, the freest. That's what they're trying. They're trying to destroy the immense amount of freedom that Steam allots so many people. It is the freest gaming platform out there, period. Out of everybody. And I noticed that some people are saying, well, this doesn't affect me because I don't play Gooner games. And I understand
but
that.
It does affect you. That's the thing. They don't realize it, but it does affect you.
This is what I want to just say to those people that because I've been watching podcasts where they're just like, look, I kind of understand the general concern, but I don't care because I don't fuck with these games. And I'm just like, please understand the severity of the situation. This may not affect you in the way that you think on this, the surface level situation, but to not recognize how problematic this is long term is ignorance. I wish people would open up their mind to that.
Why would they stop? If they get a W with Gooner games, why would they stop at anything else? Like, oh, it doesn't affect me because I don't play. I would like to think the vast majority of folk don't play those games, those fucking $2.99 porn games on Steam or whatever. However, once you get a W, what's the last time someone got power and it was like, that's enough for me?
Listen, I said it yesterday, okay? It is, you could call it like, I don't know, put whatever word you want to put on it, but it is the ego of a person, like all these people who are cheering this on, either they're cheering it on or they're like, it doesn't affect me. This is probably especially more about the people who say this doesn't affect them. I want you to understand the ego you must have to say this because you truly believe in your chair right now you're thinking this has no effect on you, thus it doesn't matter to you, so it's not a big deal. Because in your mind, your ego is telling you that the moment it comes for something that actually does affect you, you're going to be able to stop it. That's what you're thinking in your mind. You think you're going to be able to stop that fucking river from flowing your way, when I guarantee you it's not. And then you're going to be pissed because by then it's too late. It's too late.
You were thinking that same shit when you was voting for a certain group to be able to have certain rights, and you were thinking it didn't affect you, and then all of a sudden they're fucking twerking in front of your kids with diapers on.
Yeah,
diapers on. Try fully nude.
It's all fun and games until they come for their GTA. Then they fucking crying the blues.
Yep, but that's the funny thing is, this group has tried to go after GTA. Yep. They've tried to go and they failed back then. You think they're gonna not try again? Of course they're gonna try again, man. This is the problem. So. It may not affect you. I don't fucking play the gooder games. You guys gift it to me all the time. I always tell you you're wasting your money, but it is what it is.
Does make your Steam library look real padded though. So like that's shout out.
I just like it because I could get badges and level up my Steam profile. But anyway, that's besides the point. So at the end of the day, it may not be affecting you now, but you are not going to be able to stop that fucking river when it comes your way. And if you truly sit there and think that you can, you got a wake-up call coming your way. So, yeah, it doesn't affect you now, but when it comes for your Stellar Blade, because it will, okay? When it comes for your and by the way, they already tried, but they failed, but they will try again. When it comes for Grand Theft Auto one day, and it will, and technically it already has, because Rockstar has said they're not going to be making this next game as, raunchy, let's just say, as the former ones, and they've already censored in the remastered version. GTA 5 took the trans jokes out. Yep. When it comes for your fucking games that you enjoy every day, then you're gonna sit there and be like, "What's happening? Why is this happening?" And we're just gonna look at you like, "Go suck a dick."
Hypno, you will live in the pod. You will eat the bugs. You will be happy.
Anybody who's lived long enough knows when they see shit like this going down.
But here's the overarching issue that we have with this whole situation is that there are 8 of us here total. There are about like 700 something people who resonate with that. But then there are millions of other people who won't put in that effort to go, you know what? Yeah, this is a bad thing. While they think it is a bad thing, it's not something you didn't have to convince those people to do something like push back. And that's not going to happen.
You know what's scary though, Sheep? Because you're 100% right. The scary end of that is once the credit card companies say no, we're out. They're like it's one thing for us to fight somebody. Like if I was to not like what Nintendo is doing, I could choose to not buy it. I could tell others to not buy it, and maybe a handful of us don't. But that's fine. But now for me to say, well, the other hand of that is to support indie games, right, or to support other developers. The credit card companies can just delete that.
Here, you want to know? You want to know who
and
you're
then the only thing
dealing
that's
with
left
here?
is Bitcoin or some kind of cryptocurrency, which is not something a lot of people want to go for.
Let me show you who you're dealing with for the people who are like, this doesn't affect me, right? So Collective Shout, a little while ago, when was this? This was, I don't think it has a date, but they say, this is on their website. It says, when Target and Kmart remove R18 plus game from stores.
Kmart's still around?
This was
probably old. I don't think Kmart's around anymore. So
Target and Kmart have pulled video game Grand Theft Auto 5 off of shelves over controversy about the game's depiction of violence against women. The stores responded to a change.org petition that gained more than 44,000, most likely botted signatures. It says it's a game that encourages players to kill women for entertainment. The incentive is to commit, acts of violence against women, and then abuse or off them, then to proceed to get health points. And now Target are stocking it and promoting it for your Christmas stocking, the petition said. And who started this petition? None other than Collective Shout.
Yeah, bro, Tipper Gore is rubbing one out to this shit right now.
Yo.
She's still alive?
Yeah, I actually just Googled it before I made that joke to make sure.
Wow. So again,
why they talking like the game doesn't encourage you to kill every living thing you see?
Right.
Because they only
need an
want to
angle.
make it they need a headline.
That's also what it is.
They need a headline.
It's like oh shit! It's like with Black Myth Wukong. If they actually took the time out to play at least an hour or so into the game, they would realize that there are important female characters who look good. Exactly. They don't give a fuck. They just want, like everybody's been saying, they want control. They want power. They want
it's crazy. It's crazy that people don't see this as their own personal problem when you're watching Steam, one of the biggest, most powerful fucking platforms in the gaming space, literally concede because they have no room to negotiate. There is no negotiation on this shit. That's why you can't really blame Steam for this. There's no room to negotiate any of this shit. They must concede if they want to survive. That is the only answer to this situation, sadly. But people don't see the severity of the situation. That's what kills me.
Well, I mean, I do think you can blame Steam, like, but it's so because my take on it was if Steam had done this of their own volition, I would be like, you know what, I would disagree with it. I'd be annoyed with it, but at least they're a private company. They can do what they want. They have their own TOS. People got to follow it, but they're not doing this of their own volition, and that is a bigger issue because like they are bowing and kowtowing to these card companies, but like you said, they also don't have a choice. So where is that fucking middle ground?
Well, the other thing too, we've been talking about the card companies the whole time. There's another elephant in the room. The internet service providers as well is another.
I thought you were about to say the government.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother
same difference.
At the end of the day, man, we got stuff being decided upon, in terms of publishing by non-publishing companies, right? Like it's like there is no reason a credit card company or an internet service provider or any of this shit
and non-government entities too.
Right. There should be nobody deciding what goes on that platform except for Steam. Steam should be the only one that should be deciding that. If somebody else is forcing Steam to remove content, then they're playing publisher. And at that point, you got to question, well, who gave you that right? Why do you have that right? Obviously, it's money. Obviously, it's power. Obviously, it goes way back, many years, decades worth of fucking banks. I get that. But I'm just saying rhetorically, like, who gave you that right? Who made you a publisher? You're not a fucking publisher.
And if it was illegal products, that'd be one thing. Like obviously at that point there is and I mean I'm not a fan of this being an anarchist.
You're talking about public safety at that point.
Right.
Yeah. Like there's nothing hosted on Steam that is at least in America illegal. Now, like for example, there's games you can buy in America on Steam that you cannot buy in Australia. You can't buy Schedule 1 in Australia because the game doesn't meet their legal fucking whatever hullabaloo. I don't know. I'm not upside down. But the point is, this should not be happening in America. Fucking bar none.
You want to see what it's like to be a dumb motherfucker? Look at this. Check this out. This is great. Shout out to Savvy. So Savvy makes a post and she says, Adams, who famously believes there is context.
Wait, you're not gonna praise. Hold up.
God damn it, Smash JT. I was listening to that. Fuck.
You're not gonna play the Moo clip first before introducing.
No, why?
They didn't even know I was talking about Adams. You had to say Adams first, and then I was gonna play the Moo clip.
No, I see the picture. He's like in the main screen.
Are you fucking kidding me, Smash? You had to ruin the whole flow of that just because you want to hear this motherfucker Moo?
Yes.
You want to hear it that bad?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thousands of niggas is waiting for your motherfucking call, and they all.
You happy?
What the fuck?
Stop it. Get some help.
Jesus.
Carry on. You have my approval to carry on.
Anyway, so Adams, who famously believes there is context that makes the phrase abort all Jews okay, despite being a DEI lover, cheers on Collective Shout and wants to grift having them on his podcast. Collective Shout wanted to ban Detroit Become Human, which Adams seems to really enjoy. If he gets them to go on, maybe he can ask about that. Collective Shout also wants to ban GTA, which he also seems to enjoy. So perhaps he can also dabble in some attempted journalism and maybe ask about it. Oh, who are we kidding? He just wants to feel relevant. So here you got Booty Adams. Wait, it gets good. You got Booty Adams here. And he's like, catching up on the news from this week and major props to Collective Shout. Would love to have someone from the team to come on our podcast to talk about the campaign. So I just want to make it very clear before we showcase the hypocrisy. I want to make it very clear that when I talked about the ego of people, right? This is what I'm talking about right here. This person truly believes in their mind that as long as these people are censoring things they don't like, it's a-okay. But he thinks that the moment they come for something that he likes, he'll be able to stop them or talk some sense into them. This is the kind of person that
this is jive in his case. But.
This is it. So we got some screenshots. On the right, you have Collective Shout advocating to basically, take down Detroit Become Human because apparently it depicts child abuse and violence against women. On the left, you have Mr. Adams, who wants these people on his podcast, saying, just finish another couple of hours of Detroit Become Human. I could appreciate the effort put into it. I'm enjoying my time with it. And the threads it pulls from it are way too blatant. And that is super distracting. Then he says, Detroit Become Human is a really interesting game. Jesse Williams is the perfect person for this game because I definitely feel like I'm playing Grey's Anatomy DLC. He would watch Grey's Anatomy. And then the last post is amazing. Just made Detroit a must play for me. Also, my most wanted interview of the next year. So this is one of his top games, apparently. And yet they want to ban this game, and he wants them on his podcast. Moving on. Then Booty Adams says GTA looks
Trey,
super
is that
good.
black and white picture of you?
Actually,
oh my god,
damn, that might be.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Finally, a black person that doesn't look like me.
Grand Theft Auto 6 looks super good. I have gained access to the no pixel GTA servers. Expect hijinks, fun times, and much merriment. The tale of what? Count Angelo Jackson and his return to R&B greatness are coming to spawn on me stream. Anyway, something black. And then on the right, you have them advocating to try to remove Grand Theft Auto from, actually not even advocating, successfully removing Grand Theft Auto from multiple.
By the way, there's the year you're looking for, 2014, because you said there wasn't one listed, 2014. So this shit been happening for over a decade with just this activist group.
By the way, right around Gamergate 1 time.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Right around Gamergate 1. And again, if they've been doing this shit successfully for 11 years, how they not bankrolled by somebody? All these other companies are. How all these other outfits are.
Makes it amazing, right? So again, this group has successfully pulled this down. Now I already know what he's going to say. He's going to be like, "Oh, well, you know, us intelligent people, we're allowed to have disagreements and still want to have discussions and stuff." Oh yeah, really? It's amazing. It's amazing how that works. You know, when it's only, you know, when it comes to your own personal things.
I bet he'd really hold their feet to the fire in an interview.
Oh, for sure. He'll ask them the hard-hitting questions. Yeah, like sure. He'll sit there like a little bitch, fucking giggling, sweating for just breathing. And he'll be like, "Oh my god!"
No, he'd be like, "So are you guys hiring? Because I would love to be a part."
Oh yeah, you guys need a community manager. I lasted a little bit on, you know,
he's
what's
fat.
the game called?
Scott Steiner.
Was the community manager on Concord? No, it was South of Midnight.
No, it was Concord as well.
It was Concord.
No, it was South of Midnight too.
That's
Yeah,
what
him and
both of them.
what's his name?
Damn, so they just hire him temporarily and then kick him when he's that's crazy.
Well, if you're gonna be the fucking community manager for games that have no fucking community,
God damn.
You know what? I can't even argue with that. I was trying to come up with something witty, but I'm like, no, I'm good.
Do you think he realizes how?
Do I think he thinks no?
Do you think he's ignorant to it, or do you think he forgets? Like what? How?
No, I think he has selective memory. Like he knows what he's doing, bro. We know these guys know what they're doing.
Sometimes I wonder if he knows what he's doing.
They know exactly what they're doing, bro. They are the epitome of fake it till you make it. 30,000 followers, 2 likes a post.
No.
Like 8,000 subscribers on YouTube or something like that. Gets
Unless
2
they
viewers.
say
Him
some
and his
snarky
boyfriend.
That's why they're so like determined to say snarky shit that clearly is like against like the average fucking gamer, because that's the only thing that gets traction. All these people want is to fight. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you. Oh.
No, good. You're glad what?
No, I was gonna say I'm glad that she said that, because when you guys think of it, just like there's YouTubers in our space, where's the Mike Zero guy? These guys, they thrive off the controversy because that's the only thing that's going to get them views. These guys are the same way, just in the opposite direction. Like that's like you have 30,000 fucking followers and you can't get traction on anything positive. So you got to say things like celebrating a fucking feminist taking down games that you guys don't like. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that she said that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, but it's pretty obvious. And again, you know, these are the ones who are like, oh, you're rage baiters and you're a projector, bro. You project all day long.
You know what's funny is that they don't realize that it's not just a black pill on this side, it's a black pill on their end, because if this shit goes through, they don't get the success, and you're not gonna have anything at the end because they're gonna take your shit too. What are you doing, stupid?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That's the end goal. They want these useful idiots on their side being like, we're only doing this to the people who oppose you. And they're going to cheer it on like the fucking sheep they are. And then once everybody on the opposite side gets their shit taken away, guess who's next, you dumb fucks?
Usually they're the first. Once the power comes into once the power that they've been supporting comes into play, normally the first ones to go are the ones that brought them there in the first place.
Look at what happened with Gamergate and Goonergate, right? Once these people were taking L's after L's and they basically had nothing left and most of the journalists were gone and, you know, things started to settle down, what happened? The fucking truth comes out. Who you thought was on, you know, your particular side movement, whatever, you start to realize, well, that's not true. And then things start to branch off. Look what's happening with fucking Ethan Klein and that lawsuit, right? You know, Denham's just threw the fucking entire the entire moderation team under the fucking bus.
That video earlier.
Wait, what? I had heard it. No, what's the story?
Yeah,
she threw them all under the bus.
Yeah, Ethan wanted to expedite discovery to get the names and the real life information of all the Snark mods so he can serve them or whatever. And the lawyer had an opportunity, her and her lawyer had an opportunity to fight that or, you know, basically try to not give Ethan what he wanted, but they just said, sure,
fuck it,
you got it, take it. So she threw them under the fucking bus. But this is what I'm saying. This is what's going to happen with these people, right? So, you know, people like Booty Adams are cheering this on. They're like, yeah, you're going after people I hate. Fuck yeah. Great win. Come on my podcast. We're friends. And then eventually what's going to happen is those feminists, once they get their wins, if they get enough of them, they're going to look at that guy and they're going to be like, you know what? You like GTA? That's a little problematic for me.
Exactly.
You know, I think we might have to do something about that. And then he's going to look at them like, what? No, you can't do that. I need my casual collection. No, you can't do that. And that's basically it. It's over. It's game over from there. It's too late. So this is my biggest problem with these people. They have egos that are through the fucking roof that they genuinely think that the people that are actively doing censorship and doing dumb shit like that, yeah, you may agree with it, but it's going to come for you. It's going to absolutely come for you. And then by then it's too late. So exactly. Zalosi says they always turn on their own. Piranha Pout says they always, it's not even about the left, Piranha Pout. It's just people will eat their own after a while. If they were never genuinely on your side, it's gonna show at some
John
point.
Della Bagco is an example of that. Try to cozy up to every single person in even slightly right-wing space.
I disagree with that a little bit. I think the reason why they always eat their own is because as human beings, you can't agree on every fucking goddamn thing.
Right.
So like as long as we all have different backgrounds.
I agree with that.
As long as we all have different backgrounds and ways that we were brought up, it's impossible that we'll all agree on everything. So at some point, as politically correct as they try to be, somebody around you is going to have an opinion or a thought process or a way of life or something that you don't like. It's plenty of things that we each other do we find weird. So I mean, we just don't need to talk about it.
Andreas, you're talking about the J.K. Rowling thing. It doesn't matter if she agrees with 99% of leftist bullshit because she doesn't want trannies in fucking women's bathrooms. She's an alt-right fearmonger.
No, it is
there you
crazy.
go.
So yeah, it's and again, it probably happens more on that particular side because their entire side relies on the perception of virtue, not actually being virtuous. So it's all about faking your virtue and trying to convince each other that you're just so morally great. But that shit is going to come out at some point.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You're fucked, you know? So
it's power.
It's kind of like, remember that?
It's more, it's less of a political thing. It's more of a power thing. And people are really willing, because we see it on the woke right as well. Like people are willing to throw each other under the bus for just an inch more of power to get them further along. It is a power thing. It's not a political thing.
But the reason it's perceived as a political thing, Wizard, is because if you slap a political label on it, left, right, Republican, Democrat, whatever, you give it a label, you make a tribe, and bingo, bango, bongo, you got people on your tribe now. Because you can't do it with something as amorphous as just an idea or as just like the concept of power. You need to have a face to it for people to gravitate towards.
Absolutely. And the woke left does a damn good job of getting caught doing it all the time. But it is absolutely a power thing to just get a little bit further ahead of everybody else. There's something I say all the time, and it's there's two ways to build the tallest building. One, you just build the tallest building, and the other option is you destroy everyone else's buildings in town so that your building is the tallest in town. And that's what we see all the time. It's everybody tearing each other down so that you don't actually have to try that hard. You don't actually have to earn anything. That's what cancellation is.
Well, that's what they do with whenever they try to prop up like usually like female characters or people of color or whatever. Instead of making them so interesting that they stand out on their own, they just shit on the male character. Like they shit on the male character. Like Ironheart's a perfect example where she talks shit about fucking Tony Stark the entire time instead of, you know, making her an interesting and an exceptional character on her own. No, she's got to shit on the the guy to make herself seem higher. They do this all the time.
You can take Tony out the story, and you still got all the other dudes that basically got dragged down. They're either villains or they're effeminate, soft ass dudes.
Yeah.
And you know what I just realized when talking about Ironheart and whatnot? That collective shout open letter. Notice what group it didn't mention?
Who?
The Alphabet Mafia. They're only talking about women.
It's interesting.
Think about it. The last 10 years, it's always been women and LGBT people that are also unsafe. Like they always got lumped together. This one's just women.
Baby steps.
But I guarantee if you went to these women, you asked them, well, what do you define as a woman? Yeah, they'll be all over the place. So it's ridiculous. So, I mean, I guess all I can really say is, we already know where this is going to go. If you guys disagree, you can tell me where do you think, where do we see this going, right? So Steam obviously changed their TOS, so now it's in the TOS, so now it's free game. I would be very curious. I wish I could see some numbers because the thing is, Steam is a private company, so there's that. It's hard to get anything from them, but I would love to see some numbers to see what the games that were available as adult games specifically in, let's say, 2024. I wonder what they would be like in 2025. Like I'm just curious, like what the numbers would be. I don't know if we would ever get something like that.
It'll probably be better to look at 2026 numbers if when we hit that year, because like there's going to be a cleanup process throughout the rest of 2025, I would imagine. So look at 2024 compared to 2026, and that'll tell you.
Well, maybe we could see like what was the adult games that were added in 2024 versus what was the adult games that were added in 25, because obviously the stipulation for adding an adult game is going to be a lot harder now. I gotta imagine, like you're not going to be able to. There's a million fucking incest games. There's a million you know what I mean? Well, like
the other thing too is games don't come out overnight. Like they're worked on for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, the games that we're talking about are pretty much
kind of overnight.
Yeah. Yeah, but it also sets the precedent for games that do take longer, I guess is what I'm more focused on. But yes, you're right. But
it just kind of goes against what they said too before. Go ahead, Cassie.
Yes, that does bring up a good point. It's like, with all these games that there's a lot of time, money, and effort put into them for years. Who's to say that these games aren't going to be held back and made even more safe somehow than what games already are because of shit these motherfuckers out here?
Yep.
And by the way, I want to reiterate too, for those of you that might not know, because I was shocked at how many people did not know this. And I got comments about this on my videos. Just be aware, these adult games that these supposed adult feminists are complaining about, you don't see them on Steam unless you choose to see them. And you have to go out of your way to find the fucking setting to turn on, to allow adult games. You have to do that. On default, it doesn't allow adult games when you first utilize Steam. So you have to turn it on.
After that, you have to do age verification and shit, which again is very easy to spoof. Even so, there are levels to getting to it. It's not just a toggle switch at that. You also have to do age verification, email verification.
You got to do all that shit, and then on top of that, there are parental controls. Because they're supposedly saying, "Oh, what about the kids who are buying these games?" All right, bro, stop the bullshit. Like you have parental controls. And at what point do you hold parents accountable? That's a whole other conversation. My point is,
it's not.
To see these games, you got to go above and beyond to see them, above and beyond. So, but it's just one of those things where they don't care. They don't care about the facts or the.
Well, because it's not about parental control at all. For them, they don't want anybody being able to profit on anything they find offensive.
Well, they just don't want.
And that's what's dangerous, because at what point do they start saying stuff like, okay, yeah, we don't like the fact that Dave Chappelle is doing another stand-up comedy where he's making trans jokes. So we don't believe that you should be able to pay to buy a ticket there to your show.
And they tried to take him down, by the way. They tried many times, and Netflix told them, listen, they didn't want to say, hey, he makes us a lot of money, but that's really what it is. Like, he makes them a lot of money. They just basically told them, fuck off. Like, that's not going to happen.
To add to the whole, the discussions about games that, are about violence towards women and whatnot, Lumi put out an excellent post saying the same thing.
Oh, it was so amazing.
What was that?
It was so amazing. Should I bring it up? I mean, it's got some crazy words.
By all means, if you got to bring it up. But yeah, Lumi just who's into this shit? Who's into the violence and whatnot? Fucking women. Who likes to be choked? Who likes to read those novels where people are like whipped and chained and shit?
Women.
Well, okay, so to be fair, the lefties would tell you you're wrong. They would tell you that is a what's the word they use?
It's caving into the patriarchy.
Oh Lord.
It's either hoax or myth. It's a myth. It's a myth.
As anecdotal as that whole topic is, that's what my wife and her mother listen to. They listen to that stuff. They read stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, 50 Shades of Grey,
I
right?
once told the story about I had a coworker that used to come in listening to one of those books. All you hear, she walks in and you hear the lady with the fucking European accent. Yeah, so he ripped the jeans right off and bent her over, and he went. I got the post. I'm like, what the fuck are you listening to? She's like, oh my God, it's so don't worry about the sex. It's actually pretty dramatic. It's like, bitch, every time you come in, I hear grape. That's what I hear. I don't know what you're hearing, but I'm hearing grape. So whatever.
That's fucking great because it's so true, man. It's so true. There's a reason why they're not trying to go after Barnes and Nobles. You know what I'm saying? They're not going after. They're not going after the bookstores. They're not going after none of that. They won't.
Once again, it ain't niggas at the bookstore, which is.
I mean, they are, but not in that section.
Oh, man.
There's a TikTok going around where it's like all these like gangster guys are like Barnes and Noble or something like that, and they have like we're over here at Barnes and Noble.
Leon, I would not read this. I would just let the chat be able to read this
for people to read of their own volition because there's some words in here that are your channel's under attack as is. But point is, Lumi is entirely correct, and Lumi is a real woman. So,
bro, shit. I read that shit. I lost my shit in the store at my job. It's like, bro, I can't read this shit out loud.
She put this shit with her whole chest in all caps too. I was like,
all caps.
She is feeling this one. Yeah, and bold. I was like, I didn't even know you could bold on Twitter. This is crazy. So, clearly, again, women enjoy a lot of the content that these other women are complaining about. So it's always funny. And again, Savvy made a similar post too. Obviously not as crazy, but she made a similar post as well. I think she even retweeted Lumi. I'm pretty sure. Because at the end of the day, man, this is like a known thing that they swear and try to pretend like it's not happening. It's just like feminists that are out there trying to get like super revealing clothing banned. They try to go after certain manufacturers of like mini skirts or fucking women's underwear and shit. But the funny thing is, who's buying that? Like, who's buying that on the regular? It's women.
This might blow the mind of some people in the chat, but you know who draws most hentai?
Women. You know who's some of the most popular manga artists that have drawn very questionable scenes in manga? Women. Lots and lots of women's. So again, it's one of those things where listen, nobody has a problem with you trying to fight the illegal shit. But my thing is you're trying to censor things by misusing words and their definitions completely incorrectly. Like Cassie said, what's the definition of porn? They can't even say. Most people would probably say, well, we all know it to be, which is naked, intercourse, all that shit. Like some form of sexual act. Some form of sexual act. Yeah, like you're going to know what porn is when you fucking see it. You know what I'm saying? But these people would try to make women in bikinis be porn, women in short tops be porn.
Unless the
funny
woman
thing is, it's never
wearing
men.
it or whatnot is unless they're doing it their own volition, because then it's empowering.
Yeah, they got no. By the way, they got no problems with like they're talking about the incest stuff, the R word stuff, the fucking child abuse. Which again, child abuse. Where on Steam is that? I don't. What the fuck? Anyway, that doesn't like Steam bans that shit. If it's legitimately what you're saying it is, which it never is. It's always misrepresented.
But you know what's funny though?
What's that?
They have no problem with the freaking OnlyFans girls on there doing the retard face.
I will take that statement and raise you one, right? So I don't see any of them try to advocate for the banning of any of the games that have to do with men getting R-worded, right? Because they're there, they exist, right? Men getting fucked, like anyway, you get the point.
Well, I didn't see them have any issues with 50 Shades of Grey, and I feel like that was
that's what we were saying. They're not going to go after the bookstores because they need something to read at night.
Well, no, that was also like turned into a movie too, like and that was like perfectly fine. People were like, "Oh, cool, yeah," and it was all women.
Bro, I was talking about this on my stream last night. They found used cucumbers in the seats.
Come on,
no, they didn't.
No, wait, what?
Stop.
You're lying.
No way.
After 50 Shades of Grey viewings when that movie first came out, the people, the theater cleaners, the straight popcorn shit, found used cucumbers in the seats.
They couldn't even be bothered to bring them to the fucking trash afterwards.
Oh my god, it's real, bro.
I told you I was making this shit up.
God.
No.
Oh my god, it's real, bro. What? I'm bringing it up right now.
We need to
Hey, hold on. I
Bring
just
it up,
want to
bring
say
it
this.
up.
I just want to go ahead and say this right now. Those were white women. I'm
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%.
Well, you won't find no black women out there doing it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, black women were using gourds.
I mean,
Oh,
you gotta be pretty. You gotta be pretty fucking horny to do that. Where are those girls at? Where are they at today? Shit.
Where they at today?
They're in Australia,
I don't want
apparently.
to hear another incel comment ever again when you're fucking using cucumbers at the theater. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is crazy. But these are the women. I want you to get. These are the women that are trying to moral police you online. These are the women that are trying to tell you you're disgusting for liking, I don't know, whatever, XYZ. These are the women that'll tell you all these things. These are the ones that do the activist groups. These are the ones that try to get shit banned, get shit removed. These are the ones, and yet they're only here impaling themselves
the same people
with a fucking cucumber while watching an interesting movie. Let's just say that.
Respect.
You know what I mean?
I don't think
See, normally I would say respect, but these bitches are hypocritical. They're so hypocritical. And then you'll have a lot of the leftist activists, you're certain people that we all know, they'll be like, that's just a myth. You guys are taking the 1% and making it the norm. Oh, that sounds really familiar, by the way.
No,
but
no,
anyway,
that's actually
what they're doing.
One of the things that I remember they used to talk about on Fresh Fit all the time was that study from Indiana, from the University of Indiana, where they took whatever machines and attached them to the genitals of men and women. And when they were talking, when the men were honest, they showed them a bunch of images, and the men were honest about what turned them on, and the women were not. So they would show them like an image of monkeys fucking, and all the men would be like, "Hell no, get that shit the fuck out of here." And the machines, machines was like, "Yeah, they being honest." And then they would show the same image.
Wait, Atreus, this happened in Australia.
Wow.
Yep.
The same place these bitches are from.
Wow.
Imagine my fucking shock.
Bro, I'm sorry. I got
your own fucking playground. That's crazy.
My god, bro. I'm sorry.
The water in Australia.
I'm sorry. That one. I'm sorry to cut you off. That one caught me off guard. Holy shit, my guy. Of course it is. Anyway, go ahead. Continue. I'm so sorry.
No, it was just that. I mean, I said it was white women. I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I'm
Fun fact: I was googling the writer of this article. All of her articles are about food.
Wow.
Her latest article is called "How the Big Mac Became the Most Iconic Fast Food Menu."
How heavy is she? Is she potentially a little bit hefty?
No, she's not.
Oh.
She's
it could be a catfish.
She writes mostly about food and wine.
She's white, isn't she? She's white, right?
Yeah, I think she writes for a lot of international stuff.
But like I was saying, so basically what the study was saying was that women, because they showed the same image of the monkeys fucking to the women, and they were all like, "Yeah, I don't find that attractive," but the machines were saying that they were aroused.
So women like monkeys fucking?
Well, I mean, they showed them a bunch of images.
Have you ever watched interracial porn?
Well, they were showing them a bunch of images, including gay sex, lesbian sex, and all. They were showing them a bunch of different things. And the point was the men were fairly obvious about what they found arousing, and the women were not. And what they found was that women are aroused by a lot of weird shit. So I'm not surprised that there's a bunch of used, shriveled up cucumbers in the theater during 50 Shades of Grey. That's crazy.
I'm also just gonna call this out before we move on. Homeboy fucking grabbed it with his bare hands too. So props to him. He
bro, I'm gonna look him up. Hayden,
that's crazy.
Wait,
Hayden
who grabbed what with their
picture of a
the usher in the theater. He's like he grabbed it with his bare hands.
I thought they outed his name. I was about to fucking
Bro's gonna need.
Who the fuck would do that and leave it in their seat though? That's what I keep going back to.
Dude, women are savages. Like Savvy tries to tell us all the time with her posts. Women are savages, bro.
Have you ever seen their rooms,
Dude,
bedrooms?
Bro, Cass like that does some dark shit in her fucking search history. She uses incognito mode and she got a VPN because Cass a freak.
Cass is like, why you dragging me?
Yeah, bro. Why you dragging Cassie into this shit? We all know she's a furry. Goddamn, relax.
Goddamn, dude. The cucumber in that cucumber in that photo is fucking huge.
Stop, bro.
Hold on, it doesn't show anything. It's an article from the Sun.
It was a BGC, huh? A BGC.
It definitely was.
I just posted it in that private chat.
All right, final thoughts, man. I'm not looking at that shit, man. Final thoughts on Steam. What are we
Damn,
thinking?
dude, it is huge.
All right. Final thoughts on Steam.
Pause.
This is gonna be a fucked up clip going up on the gaming channel, bro. I'm sorry for people watching all Hypnotic Gaming live right now. This is gonna be really bad.
On the whole,